this is Charlie at My Messy Fingers. We are getting ready to work on a new page of the Wizard Academy collection that I received from Scrap and Create, and we have already finished the outside cover, and we have already finished the left inside panel. We are now working on this page, page 1. And I have already pre-designed it. I have it all cut out. So I'm going to give you the measurements for the cardstock. The papers you will cut to fit. So what I have here, working from the bottom up, and I apologize in advance, but this thing is kind of in an accordion pile here, and I'm trying to keep things in their proper order. Okay, so I will give you this measurement. When you go to measure this piece of cardstock, I want you to measure and stay away, because this measures at 8 3/4. I want you to stay away from this edge by about 1/4 to 3/8. That will allow the buildup, because we're going to do a 1/4 inch gusset buildup on both sides. We need enough room so that when this page turns over, that gusset is filling up the space you've allowed here. This space is so that when the pages come together, they're not fighting each other, that everything can lay kind of nice. This is a 5/8 gusset if you followed the album build, so that when everything does fold up, because you can see how big I made this piece here, this signature. So when I'm done with this, these are going to lay together very nicely because we've allowed for a decent sized gusset in between your signatures. So again, we're going to measure this a bit short because we want this page to be able to fold over. So I came in here and I measured this so that I had just a tiny bit of a black edge to my right to take on the gusset. And I'm leaving over here roughly 3/8 of an inch. So that means that this piece here measured at 8 1/8. I have 8 1/4, that's incorrect. The ruler says this piece measured at 8 1/8, and it is 3/4 of an inch in height. So this should be your measurements on all of your signature base pages, 8 1/8 by 8 3/4. Okay, so then let's get here. So this is my base, working up. I took from the scraps, because when you cut that first signature for your inside left panel, there was a piece about yay big and a little bit longer that had Wizard Daily News on it. So I took from my scraps a piece of black cardstock. I cut it to the height that I wanted because it's going to go here. And then I cut to fit this piece so that it just sits right in here. My left side panel, I cut these two pieces so that I'm not wasting a lot of the designer paper. I am modifying as I go. So this side, which I do believe I need to ink. Yeah, I need to ink this side. This side here, I measured in from the left side of the panel, and you can see I came up short, but not to worry. I cut a small pocket, and again from my scraps, I took some paper and then I cut to fit this piece, so you're going to end up with a small pocket here. So while I'm here in this explanation part of my build, I do want to ink this because it doesn't look like I did it, and I thought I had. I'm using Hickory Smoke Distress Ink from the Tim Holtz collection because it kind of helps pull out some of the darker colors in the collection and allows the beautiful bright colors to stand out. Now, when you cut this piece, you can cut it as wide as you want it to be, just so as long as it's covering up your edge on this. But be careful when you place this. You've got two score lines here. You do not want to come against and lay on top of score lines. So do be mindful of that. So then when we turn this piece over, this is coming off of a 12 by 12 page, and I cut to fit. All right. Now this is where it's going to blow up. Okay, so on the outside, this piece here has come off of this, and I kind of liked it. So we have this piece, and then there is a piece in your collection that's this. We've already used this, so this came off of here, and it's one of those, what does this end up measuring? I should know this, but I don't. It's roughly 8 5/8. So it's a half page, so there's something else that comes across the bottom. So I cut this, because again, I don't want to be digging into my 12 by 12, and I don't have scrap pieces big enough. So this will fit here. And then we'll have a magnet. I'm just going to use a small one on here because there's nothing really large on it. And then under here, you'll have this piece, which again is one of those not full-size pieces within your collection. Again, this is 8 1/2, and this piece measured about 5 5/8. So you're going to cut this piece out. It had some other elements over here. And then you've got your cardstock, and we'll get to those measurements in a minute. This is a pocket piece, so we're going to have a pocket. Save your 1/2 inch scrap pieces because you're going to use them. And then on this, as it closes, we have a magnet, and this is that other piece. All right? Then from this piece, there was an entire row across the bottom of this. It fit right across the bottom. So what I did was I kind of cut them, and I'm going to make little cards out of them. All right, so I'm going to set this aside. So let's get to building. Put my pull tag over there. All right, so let's get in here and do some measuring. My piece of black cardstock is 2 1/4 inches. I'm going to be running a 1/4 inch tape, so I've got a 2 inch pocket. And it runs the length of this item. So you're going to cut this to fit. Okay. Whoops. My tape is going on cobby wobble. right. Give ourselves a good old burnish. I'm going to bring this in so I can kind of see what I'm doing, but I should still be in frame. Tuck my excess tape under, come right up to this edge, secure it down, line it up across the front. Oh, I came up a little bit short, but that's okay. I'm not worried about it. People aren't going to be focused on it by the time I get done with this build. Oh my goodness, I can't get my, oh no. My tip fell off of my, how am I going to get that out of there? I apologize, folks. Bear with me, just 2 shakes. I've got to see if I can't get this thing out of there. Well, don't I have a mess? So I guess I'm going to be using this very carefully so I don't spill glue all over the place. I have a replacement tip, but it's in my craft room outside, and I'm not going to run out there and leave you hanging, and I don't want to start the video over. Okay. It looks like I'm going to be soaking that in some extremely hot water to loosen up that glue. All right, I'm going to go with my left side panel. I'm going to get this secured. So get ready with your pencil and a piece of paper. This piece of cardstock I cut to 8 3/8 of an inch. You're going to score it at 1/2 and you're going to score it at 3/4. It measured 8 3/4 tall because I need it to match this piece. So when it comes in here, it's like this, and you're going to have a big gusset here to help absorb some of the buildup that we're going to be doing. So I am going to put some 3/8 inch tape here. That's really frustrating about that tip. I'm not sure what took place there. Okay, I do not have an additional build on this side, but I have a 1/4 inch gusset over here. Here I have the same build, the 1/4 inch gusset, but I have other elements that I'm building on this side that's going to take up that gusset room. So on this side, you're going to come right up to this score line. How about we turn this over? You're going to come right up to, I'm kind of a bit rattled now with my glue tip. You're going to come right up to this score line, and if you stand this up, you're going to see that it isn't going to work. So you're going to come to this score line so that when you come pull this over, you're going to stand it up nice and tall. So you make sure that your page is in there, and then you're going to press it down. There's a reason why I'm explaining it that way. You'll see when we get over to the right side panel. All right, now I want you to push back against it. Burnish that 1/4 inch score line. Pull it forward so that what you have now is your 1/4 inch gusset sitting here for your build. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and add the paper because when I get to this side, it's going to get a little bit crazy, I think. Okay. All right, we're going to Jiminy's, this is a lot of glue. Gentle Charlie, just easy. I just got through doing a build and I'm not quite sure what just happened there. Okay, coming into frame a little bit, I'm going to line up here in the corner. I don't want a whole bunch of black showing, but I want enough black showing that it allows the paper to pop and stand out. So I want to make sure that I'm fairly even top to bottom, and then I'm going to burnish. Now, this little piece, we're going to run some tape. This is just going to be a tiny little easy pocket. Oh, that must be in the design. That you can put some items in. It won't be very deep, but photos, invitations, news articles, theater tickets if you went and saw Harry Potter, those kind of things could probably fit rather well in here. And the reason why I say Harry Potter, this kind of has that theme appearance to me. If you're a play artist type actor, this would be great to fill up with those memory photos. Okay, so what I'm doing now, let me get back in frame for you, is I'm lining up to the bottom, but this score line that is right here, I am just coming right up next to it. I do not want to get on it. I want this to be able to turn over comfortably. And then I'm going to glue this side just a little bit, not too much. The glue will spread when I burnish. So I don't need to put a whole bunch on there. So you can see I have my little black edges. It allows each of the papers to pop. And let's go ahead and put this front panel on. I've already inked it. And if I have to stop just a sec. This I'm going to tape because a magnet's going to go on here. So I've got to stop. So stop everybody. We need to build this side because there is a magnet right here that we need to put on. So let's go ahead. We're going to start. It has a pocket. I'm going to take that out. So we're going to start with these two pieces. This is the small outer piece. We're going to leave that alone for the moment. But this piece, because it's our pocket, mine measured at just a little bit of a hair over 8 3/8, and this piece measured right in at 6. So I've scored at a 1/2 inch here. I've scored at a 1/2 inch here. I'm going to put it on this piece, which measures, hope you have your pencil, 6 5/8, and it's the same height as we've always been playing with. So I am going to put this on first, and then I'm going to mount it to the back page of the signature. Okay. in here and get these off. All right, I want to, oh, I put the, oh, that's okay, I can fold it over. I just put the tape on the wrong side. It's okay, I can fold it over, it's no big deal. Okay, so I am gonna come up here and I'm gonna match my edge and my top edge. And what I'm trying to stay away from is the measurements on this. I don't know, did I give you? I did, didn't I? I'm sorry. So this ended up at, I gave you the measurements, but I didn't give you the score lines. This piece that we're about to mount the pocket onto was the piece that measured in at 6 5/8. You're going to score it at 1/2 and you're going to score it at 5/8. So then when this pocket piece folds in here, it's going to fold in right along that 5/8 score line. I am going to turn this tape edge over and I am going to connect. And you know what I forgot to do? I've got a big bubble here. Just a moment. And I need to do something before I can actually close this up. I gotta take the bubble out. I don't know if you guys use undo, but it's my, it's kind of my lifesaver. I need to put some tape here on the pocket so that it will, there will be a closure on it so you don't have things sliding through it. All right, let's put this back down. I was just checking to see where why I have a bubble. I don't know. This may be too long. I may have cut this piece too long. Oh, for Pete's sake. Boy, I am just having a fun old time today. I cut this about 1/16 of an inch too long. I am going to, I'd rather have a bubble that I can crease out than to have to tear and recut everything. So I'm just going to line this up. Oh, it's not going to let me do it. Okay, so it is what it is. Okay, now we're going to add our tape. To the outside of this. All right, so this piece is going to go right here. So now you have your I'm kind of getting frustrated with myself. I apologize here. I'm making mistakes and I don't like it. Okay, so we're going to come right up to this score line because I want this piece to just lay over nicely. And we're going to push back against it. To encourage this gusset right here to stand up. Now the piece that's going to go in here for the pocket, your pull out, I might have to trim it. I don't want much more than about a 3/8 of this hanging out. So I am going to trim this. It's really hard to do it when you've got all these papers, at least it is for me, to play around with this. So I'm going to cut, it looks like I want to take about 1/4 of an inch off of this, and then I'll give you the measurements for this. So hold on. This isn't wide enough to get me a 1/4 inch measurement, so I'm going to use my ruler. I wanted to find one that had a bigger base on it, but that wasn't a chunky monkey to move around and play with. But this will have to do. All right, so now this will fit into my pocket. And it's perfect. It's about all I want hanging off the edge. So this piece to fit in this pocket measured, don't pay attention to this, measured at 6 1/8 by just about 8 1/2. So we're gonna stick her in here. No, I'm not. Here's what I'm gonna, no, I'm gonna stop. My magnets need to go here. I had to rip that off. So I'm going to take this and put this right about here. I'm going to take that off. And I'm going to let this fold over, making sure it's even, top to bottom. Give her a good press. And if I use a slide, I can open it up so that I'm not pulling both the magnets up, kind of slide them apart from each other. Okay. Now I have a small magnet here. This piece that we're playing with right here is going to be your outside piece. It measures at 5 1/4. You're going to score it at 1/2, and you're going to score it at 3/4. This gusset, 1/4 inch gusset, needs to handle all of this. So it's going to fit right here. And as you can see, it's going to absorb all of the buildup that's inside there. So let's put some tape on this. All right. Now, remember when I was talking about this side over here? This one, because we have a buildup, we need this gusset to lay over that buildup. So you're only going to come right in up against that 3/4 inch score line that you have right there. So you're going to come right up next to it. Take your tape off, silly girl. Lay this over and then press. And then I want you to push back against that outer gusset so that, there you go. Okay, so it's absorbing everything that's in here. Now let's make our magnet spot take place. Small magnet, slide it, it opens up. Now let's go ahead and let's add our pieces. This was the outside. Oh gosh, don't squeeze so hard, Charlie. This was a part of a 12 by 12 piece. I can't see black against black. Now this piece, because I'm dealing with a magnet, I will actually tape this piece down. So if I have to do any adjusting later on, I'll be able to get to it. I kind of like this piece, but I'm going to stick with my original plan. I didn't have any tape on the end of it. Okay. I love this collection. I love a lot of the elements. I wanted to play with it really bad. Okay. I'm going to take that piece off first. I'm going to use this piece so I can see what I'm doing. Let me get back up here for you guys. I apologize. It's a kind of a bad habit I have as I move my work toward me. Okay. I don't want to be on this score line over here, so I want to... Oh, you know what I did. I did not want to use the reverse side of this, so do what you want to do. I was talking about that and then put tape on my wrong side. I don't know what I would do if it weren't, well, if I didn't have undo, I would just end up being stuck with the reverse side, but that's not how I built this. So I will waste a ton of undo, whoops, be careful, for my horrible hasty mistake. I guess it just goes to show I'm human. I'm not perfect. I could make these much shorter videos if I was to pre-tape as well, so you guys didn't have to watch this. My absolute sincere apologies. It's embarrassing when you make mistakes, especially when you've got an audience. And I have not mastered the art of video editing. Oops, I still have a tape in the center. I'm not going to risk it. I found I just had a little tear there, so I'm just going to kind of put some ink on it. Okay, come in here. I want to see what I'm doing. Okay. Little tape overhang, so I just use my finger to tuck it in underneath. Okay. All right, so there's that piece. Now this one is going to go right here. Okay, I didn't want that other piece because, one, we've already used it, and I didn't want it competing with this one. So now I will turn it over. I'm going to add tape, but I'm going to make sure I'm putting the tape on the correct side. Now, if you've got questions, you can always reach me at mymessyfingers55@gmail.com, or leave a comment here. I will get notified of it, and I will do best to answer your question. Alrighty, here we go. I love this part here. Okay, once again, I'm going to use this piece as my guide so I can see what it is I'm doing. Top to bottom. sure they're even side to side. And then I'm going to burnish that piece that's in there. And like I said, all of my pattern papers are cut to fit. I don't worry about the fussiness of numbers unless it's my cardstock. So I apologize if that's not your style. I really do, but I've crafted this way for so many years, I wouldn't know how to begin to give out all the numbers that it takes to put something together. Okay. I want to use this so that there's color in there. And I am about to run out of tape, so I apologize. I will have to open up another package. I should have done it ahead of time, but I will see if I can get through this piece. Almost ready. All right, now got even all the way around. My paper is right side up. Come on. Now, make sure I'm not missing anything here. This is my outside panel piece. I will use tape once again because of the magnet placement. So I'm going to open up another package of tape here real quick. Because I won't have enough on this one to finish this. There it went, right there. I have a confession to make. I bought this score tape. It's not going to be a good comment. From scrapbook.com. This is my personal supply. I just ran out of what Scrap and Create provided me. So in my personal supply, I went to scrapbook.com and took advantage of one of their sales and bought a bunch of their 1/4" score tape because it was really good price. And every single roll that I have gotten has had these big separation gaps. And before long, this is all going to come off this reel. It's not worth it. That's probably why they had a misbuild or something and it cut tape, but it's not worth it, but I have to use it. The tape that Scrap and Create sells, which is a score tape brand, is an awesome brand of tape. And that's what I've been using. It's called, I think it's called Sukwang, but it is by Score Tape, Score Pal Company, I do believe. And it doesn't do that. There is no separation. Now, I've not yet had any issues with this tape not doing its job, but as a crafter, it's kind of annoying that you have a tape roll that falls apart on you in front of a video. Okay, get that centered in there, and then I'm going to burnish. It shifted on me before I got the tape seated. This stuff dries pretty quickly, but I want this on here the right way. I'm kind of picky about that part of it. Okay. I'm just going to hold that in place while that continues to dry, and I get another strip of tape put down to hold it in place. Okay. This is where I had those two. All right, so the last thing I need to do is finish the pullout for this. So I tacked this. I didn't want to lose this in my scraps, so I tacked it down with a piece of tape. But I need to really quickly ink my edge. All right, and then just an itty bitty bitty tiny bead of glue. Oh, hold on. There it is. So in this collection, I mentioned in the previous video that I received a little bag full of goodies that I am using, all these beautiful charms, as my pull. Take a little bit of tape. I'm going to tape this in place. And I'm just eyeballing where I'm putting it. They're not all going to be even, which is fine. It adds character. And because of what I'm using, I need to smash this down because it's quite round. And then I'm going to cut this off because I don't want it underneath, poking out from the strip. Okay, now I'm going to come off of this just about 1/16 of an inch. I can see it because I'm right here. I'm sure you can't, but if you'll bear with me just a second. So you can see it came off of this just about 1/16 of an inch from the end. Okay. And I need to do something before I put it away. So now this is going to slide right in here. And voila. There's my pull. So now I'm going to turn it over and we're going to get ready to mount this in your album. I'm going to use 5/8 inch score tape. For my framework on this so that I've got a good tape contact. And then I'm going to take some 3/8 tape. There's a lot of weight on this signature. I don't want to trust it to the framework. So I'm going to run 3 strips of tape down the center for support. And we're going to burnish everything super good. All right, now, when I go to place this in here, I'm going to take, this is just me, I'm going to take these strips off. I'm going to center it in. You can take everything off if you're brave, but I'm going to center it in here before I take off the outer edges. And I like to do it this way because I want to be able to match this up top to bottom and come right up to the edge of the cardstock page. And I'm just going to gently, make sure it's straight, gently lay it down. I'm going to burnish those really well so that they hold in place because I'm going to do some tweaking here now to get in here to take this tape off. I'm just folding against the gussets so that I can get into the tape. I know there's another strip of tape that's got to come off of here. Right there. All right, now open, and I'm going to just give this a good old burnish. Now kind of the finishing touch for in here are going to be these 2 little cards because of that row that's on the bottom of one of the 12 by 12. So I cut them to make little tiny cards. Just gonna put a little bit of glue. Each, they're not the same size, so I need to make sure I'm putting this on the right little card that I made. And that one goes here. So I'm going to stick this one here. And this one here. And then I am going to put this one right in here. So that is the completion of your second signature. And again, I apologize for my crafting mistakes. I hope that you'll forgive me, and I apologize. Thank you for watching.